Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be having a look at Creed's Millesime Imperial, and I'm going to be reviewing two clones which have been sent to me free of charge by the companies. Now that does not in any way buy them a positive review, I assure you, but companies who do want one, that's going to cost £500, and details of where to get in touch with me are down there below. Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. Yes, so just kidding there, obviously I don't charge money for positive reviews. These were sent for free, but I shall try and give an impartial and honest review. First of all then, let's talk about Creed's Millesime Imperial, a really well-known fragrance from the House of Creed, a freshie. So here's a little bit of key important information about this one. On the company's website, Creed describe Millesime Imperial as fresh and stylish and say that it is a blend of scented woods, musk and iris with sparkling Hesperidic top notes. They also say the base is warmly and richly layered with ambergris. The official note listing is as follows: top notes of bergamot, mandarin and lemon, heart notes iris and marine accord, and in the base we have sandalwood, amber and musk. Interesting, because they said in the description that there's ambergris in there, so does the amber in this listing mean ambergris? The prices on Creed's website: the 50ml bottle is £155, a 100ml bottle costs £200, and the 250ml splash flacon is £325. You can find much better deals. The old size of 120ml, for example, on Notino, around about the £150 something mark last time I checked. So there we are. I've just got the 30ml bottle of Creed's Millesime Imperial that I got for a great price on a Facebook group. They don't make that size, I don't think, anymore, but usually it's not a good value to get the retail on that one, but if it crops up in a Facebook group, you can get some good deals. So I've been working from that. So the smell on Millesime Imperial. So of course with this one, we've got a very, very fresh overall smell. It's crisp, it's fresh, it opens up with citrus, and it kind of carries on being citrusy throughout its life. It's evocative of the coastline of Italy. I think that was the general idea. Some of the blurb when it first came out, it was all about the Sicilian coastline, that kind of thing, hence the picture that I put in there. So a very nice, fresh, citrusy, sort of aquatic fragrance. So really, and you have to remember, this one came out right back in 1995, right about the time that the aquatic scents were conquering the world of men's and, well, women's fragrances too. Things like Acqua di Gio, L'Odyssée by Issey, that kind of stuff. So this was really Creed's aquatic fragrance, I guess, or one of them at the time. So it's a similar kind of era. I think they brought out things like Silver Mountain Water. They were looking to get in on the fresh citrusy market, and this is a really good take on it. So it's sort of the niche fragrance for people who like citrusy aquatic designer fragrances. Does it give you anything more or something better quality than your Acqua di Gios or your Issey? Well, if you're really smelling loads of fragrances, I think this one might not stand out as being the most exciting amongst niche fragrances. But I can say, when I first got interested in fragrances and was used to smelling designer citrus aquatics, and then I tried this one, I think it does have a little bit more to it in terms of quality in the scent than the average kind of Acqua di Gio type thing that are really nice, but there's a certain designer fragrance smell. This one just has a little bit more crispness, something a little bit more mysterious going on there. Maybe it's that salty sea air ambergris note that is really nicely done. So that marine accord is very much present in this one. Maybe it's ambergris or whatever substitute, whatever synthetic version of ambergris Creed use nowadays. That is in there, but there isn't a lot to say about development on this one. It starts off very citrusy and fresh. As people talk about salty watermelon or salt, and neither are listed as notes, but there is something of that vibe evoked by this one. It's quite a good way to encapsulate how this one smells, and it doesn't really have anything interesting in terms of woods or a really different stage that it goes through, but it has this salty sea air and a freshness and a naturalness about it that is really nice. A bit like a kind of fruit salad smell is what you get on this one. It smells like something, a sophisticated sophisticated Italian gentleman might wear whilst vacationing somewhere on the Mediterranean. So it's a little bit different to citrusy traditional colognes, Acqua di Parma stuff, other things that I really like. A little bit more fruity and sweet, and perhaps therefore you could argue less sophisticated, a little bit simplistic and very, very likeable, but not hugely challenging or sophisticated or with different levels or with herbal aromatics or anything like that. Just citrusy, fruity, likeable, very fresh, and a very well done citrus fragrance overall. Really enjoyable, fresh scent. I've said some things about it there already. Good, fresh, fun, playful, youthful scent. Great for young people if you're, in your 20s, that kind of thing. If you like Creed Aventus, you want another Creed fragrance, your next one could easily be Millesime Imperial for a real summer freshie. Just lovely, exquisite smell, not super complicated or challenging. I prefer, personally, Neroli Sauvage from Creed, a bit more of a classic citrus cologne, 60s style, 50s style cologne feel, Eau Sauvage by Dior, but by Creed there for the name, Neroli Sauvage, that kind of thing. Do like that one a little bit better, a bit more sophisticated to me. Also, I prefer Aventus over Millesime Imperial a little bit, just because it's got a bit more guts and complexity to it. So Millesime Imperial, fun and fruity, and an 8 out of 10 for me. So very good fragrance, but not mind-blowing or a massive favourite, but it's good. Let's talk about these copies then, because of course that's expensive. I like the way it develops, but it doesn't have great strength. It dies down, it lingers on the skin a long time, but it becomes a skin scent. I do like the kind of subtle sea air thing that comes through after the opening blast of fruitiness. So you get this blast of fruitiness, really nice. That hangs around quite a bit, but then this sort of salty sea air, ambergris, white musky feel comes through, and it is really pleasant. These two copies then, let's talk about the Dua one. So the fragrance in question from Dua Fragrances is Imperial Pastique. Dua's copy is absolutely excellent in capturing the opening. It really smells extremely close to the smell of Millesime Imperial, particularly in the opening, and it's like it takes a snapshot of the opening, the top notes of Millesime Imperial, and just hangs onto them the whole time. Performance is really strong, and it pumps out this really nice fruity citrus smell that is really recognizable as just like this. Excellent stuff. So I think they've done a really good job copying it, and the performance is really, really strong. It's actually almost slightly annoying if you're not careful. I've annoyed somebody with this one because it just kept wafting off me all day when I applied maybe a bit too much. So you've got to hand it to them. Really, really strong performance, very high quality copy. If you dig in, then particularly as time goes on, you're going to notice that although the Millesime Imperial unfortunately does fade a little bit, whilst it's fading, it goes through a little bit more perhaps of an interesting development, and that salty sea air thing, which is there in this one, but more so in the Creed one. And maybe you might find that that's where you feel, oh yes, it's developing like a niche perfume should. And this one perhaps is a bit more of a monotone, fresh, fruity, in-your-face fruit salad, brilliant copy of the opening, but it doesn't have that development. So that's the possible negative. Really almost a beast mode performing version of Millesime Imperial. And unlike I did a review on cheap clones of Green Irish Tweed a while back, things like Très Nuit, where you can really tell that they're not quite there with the quality of the opening. This one does really match it note for note, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I really like that. Alexandria Fragrances have given us Citron Del Mar, and that one, similarly great job. I should mention prices now. The Dua one, it's 30ml, currently at $50 on their US website, so it's not cheap, but it does really do a good job. Alexandria Fragrances, you can get 60 mils for $59.99, and 30 mils is $39.99. They did also give me a code, which I'll put down on the screen now, so I think it's March 15 or April 15, depending which month you're in, and that gets you 15% off, okay? So that brings the price down even further. So better value per mil, you have to say, than the Dua one. And the smell, I can't really split them in the smell. They're both really, really good. It's equally excellent in copying the scent of Millesime Imperial. I do have to say, having really given them fairly extensive testing, that the Dua one seems a tad bit stronger and performs more strongly than the Alexandria one. The Alexandria one, Citron Del Mar, is still very good, but it's just very good. the Duo one is sort of ridiculously good. It just sticks around for ages and ages. This one behaves a little bit more like Millesime Imperial. You might even prefer that it does sort of die down a bit, and you can sense a little bit more of the dry down coming through, whereas the Duo one really just keeps hammering away with that incredible crisp opening. So I have to say, if you really want performance, the Duo one maybe edges it, but this one's still very good. So rather than average like Millesime Imperial, the Alexandria one is a very good performer, and the Duo one is just ridiculously good performance. So that's the trade-off, and the price, a bit higher for the Duo one. So if I had to give a verdict to which one I prefer, I'm going to cop out and give it a draw. For performance, I'd have to go for this one. Overall value for money and still very good performance, you might edge towards the Alexandria Fragrances one. The other options, Unforgivable from Sean John is still really nice. Not nearly as good as either of these in copying it, and you can notice a real difference. It smells a bit cheaper, but it's fun, it's fruity, it's affordable, and it captures a lot of the same vibe for a really great price. So Sean John Unforgivable, still a great cheapie. They're not super cheap, are they, as clones go? But you get what you pay for sometimes in life, and they're excellent quality copies. For beast mode performance, well, both of them are close to having that, but the Duo one really is really strong, and this one is just rather good. So neither of them will disappoint, I think. You can take your pick. I don't have a problem with what these companies do. People can pay their money and takes their pick, and they do a good job, both of them. So let me know what you think of my review and of Millesime Imperial or its alternatives in the comments below. As ever, thanks very much for watching. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.